you can see the energy like he was running a training. Like just from saying the same words again, he's done it so many times that the same energy comes back. He looks the same as he does in the videos when he's actually doing it, just from doing the words. You guys, do you ever get that feeling? So has anyone done enough demos to the point where you like get to the door and it doesn't matter what happened that morning, you instantly feel like happy? Like I'm gonna connect with this person because you've done it enough times that the emotions are almost trained into you at that point. And he's just doing the same thing there. That's why I had a huge smile on my face the whole time, because it's like, this is what John looks like when he runs a training class. So cool to watch. But anyway, guys, we're going to talk about Red Zone Phone Jams. If you don't know what a Red Zone Phone Jam is, basically, before we get started, what it is you create a red zone. And the idea is that there's a minimum number of demos that get set up at a team meeting. Usually that's like 3 if you're in an office during the summer. And the thing that everyone agrees on is that if you don't get out of the red zone, you don't get over 3 demos or 3 or more demos, then you automatically, are coming in for a phone time on either Friday or Saturday to make up for it. And because of this, you get additional demos on your team each week, and people are happy and they succeed and so on and so forth. So for some of you, some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about right now is repeat information. And if you've been to some management and leadership events before, then you've probably heard people say this, that there's a difference between knowing something and implementing it. And I want to take things one step further too. So if you're a veteran in the room and you've heard a lot of this stuff repeatedly and you are implementing things, there's also a difference between implementing it and having a complete understanding of it. A complete understanding comes from a lot of repetition and thought, and it's not something that you can easily get just from putting something in your schedule and actually doing it. So Red Zone Phone Jams in themselves, relatively easy to execute. You just kind of do it. You put things up on the board during the team meeting in the phone jam. You cross off numbers. You just do it. It's that simple. The execution is easy. Some people still don't do the execution. You might need to take that step as a manager. Some people also don't have a complete understanding of it. And I would say that, including for me, was true until a few days ago, until I really started thinking about this. So I want to start from that complete understanding kind of place and explain a couple of things about Red Zone Phone Jams and what's actually going on for the reps on your teams. 2 real big things in like the psychology, the why of what's going on here. One is that results will always equal retention for you. A lot of you have heard me say that before, and I've given entire talks on how results equal retention. And this is a huge step for those of you that are new managers, is going from the place of, I'm afraid to tell this person to work more because I want them to like me, and coming to the realization that when you get people to work more and they make more money, they like you more. It's like the retention is created by the results. Doing things is meaningful for people. Not doing things doesn't make people feel good. You don't feel good when you've spent the day Netflix binging. You feel good when you spent the day doing demos. You feel good about what you've done. So that's something that's important to remember here, is that results equal retention. And this is no small thing to overcome as a manager. Even for me sometimes, and I'm sure for John, we reach those points where it's like, I have to make this person uncomfortable right now so that they get more. And that's an important thing to remember about the Red Zone Phone Jam, is that when you're making people come in for an extra phone jam to get to their goal, they should be unhappy about that. And then the next time they should get out of the red zone. And you make them unhappy so that they get more results, so that they are retained, so that they stay around. Recognize what is best for people is super important. The Red Zone Phone Jam is a style of phone jam that is best for people. And the question is like, okay, if I let someone on my team set a goal of lining up 4 demos tonight at the team meeting, and then they don't hit that goal, do I just allow them to be okay with that? And I think that most of the time, for many managers, the answer is yes, I do allow them to be okay with it. There are no repercussions. There is no comeback, and that's not a good thing. The good thing to do would be to teach people to actually hit their goals, and results will equal retention for those people. One of the things that is important to remember here is that results equal retention for all excuses. There really is no excuse. It's like, my mom died this weekend. Okay, that's terrible, right? But is someone going to be more happy or less happy if everything's going wrong in their life and we create one thing that goes right? More happy or less happy? More happy, right? So an important thing to remember here is that it doesn't need to be either or. Something that goes wrong doesn't need to bring someone's world crumbling down. You can be that person that helps them create something good in their life while all that stuff is happening. And then they can feel good about something. And that comes from results. It comes from a true desire to help people get those results so that they have something that's good going on in their life. Red Zone phone jams do that for people. And you really need to believe, if you're going to have people come back in and if you're going to have people go after goals, you need to believe that you can add value to people's lives by getting them to do demos and teaching them about the demo. The skills that people learn in demos are not easily obtained anywhere else. So we're really doing things here that help people move forward. Results will equal retention, and that's a huge thing about the Red Zone phone jam. In your mind, you might think to yourself, maybe I'll get a few more demos this week, but you'll also end up at the end of the year with 3, 4, 5 more people that are consistently on the team that continue. And that can be huge. You could create another leader because of a Red Zone phone jam simply because the results retained them. The Red Zone phone jam is also something else that if you're already a manager on the team, you've heard me talk about briefly before, I think I talked about it here. Contingency planning is basically what a Red Zone phone jam is. How often, raise your hand if you've ever had a demo cancel on you last minute and then done nothing during that time. Okay, right. Everyone's done that at some point. And you know what is it that you should do with that time? You should phone more, right? You should line up, if every time a demo cancels, you phone and you line up 3 demos, then at the end of the week, you're like, you don't care when a demo cancels, you're always going to get more results because of it. But none of us do it every time, and the reason is because we don't actually physically contingency plan. You put a demo in your schedule, but do you put the optional phone time if that demo cancels in your schedule? No, of course you don't. But what the Red Zone phone jam is a physical contingency plan. It's that person already knows what to do if they don't hit their goal. And we miss daily goals all the time. We miss weekly goals. We even miss campaign goals. But you don't need to miss a year goal. You don't need to miss a goal for your life if you have contingency plans. You don't need to miss a goal for the next 5 years. And your reps don't need to miss their goal for a number of demos in a week either if you use the Red Zone phone jam. It's essentially a contingency plan. It's like, okay, I didn't get 3. I know that doesn't put me on track for my goal. Am I discouraged, or do I just know now that I'm coming in tomorrow for another phone jam? If they already know what they need to do, the answer is there, right? It's not even something that you need to reinforce. You don't need to have a scheduling meeting. It's just like, this is what we do when we don't hit our goal, because that's what we do as a team. I think that an important thing to remember here as you're starting to lead people and coach people is that you really do need to practice what you preach in terms of the Red Zone phone jam. Not that you'll be phoning in a phone jam while you're running your branch, not until the end anyway, but you need to have these contingency plans in your day-to-day life. It's like, what do I do if this goes wrong? What do I do if that goes wrong? What is the activity that I'm going to undertake? And really just committing to doing stuff. I say that in our office all the time, is that really all you need to do well here is just do stuff. If you just continue doing, then you'll get good results. And that's the thing that you need to avoid. And that's what contingency planning is all about, is it's the avoidance of that things didn't go as planned, now I'm just not going to do anything. That's what the Red Zone phone jam is. All right, so that's what's going on in the background in this thing that's so simple of like writing numbers on a board in different colors. If you guys have done that in your office, it's like, we never have red pens, so we have the blue zone. I think that I saw Ryan do the orange zone last week. It should be red zone, right? Red zone has like a fun sports connotation tied to it too. It's cool. So how it's done, how is the Red Zone phone jam done is really the question here. And by the way, guys, you can feel free to take notes on anything that you like, or you can also not take notes. But I would venture to guess that you do more stuff when you have notes to look at. So how it's done. I think that how it's done, I've broken these down into different categories for ease of following when you're thinking about really how to do anything in this business. How it's done, you start by promoting it. And in fact, this is how we do everything here. You say it enough times, and then it simply becomes true. This is what we do, right? So guys, all weekend long on PDI, it's like, advanced training is coming, wait for advanced training. We just promote it over and over. After that, it's like, wait for the team meeting is going to be sick, right? We constantly promote it. It needs to be, wait till you get to your first Red Zone phone jam. You have no idea how easy it's going to be to hit your goals this weekend. Like, we promote constantly. And promotion of something, anything in your business, is the first step to making it real. So promotion, if you're thinking about how do I get more people to show up to their PC, or how do I get more people to show up to advanced training, or how do I get more people to sell more or get more referrals, it all starts with promotion, is always the first step. After promotion, everything that you do that you want someone to do beyond promoting it, I think the next step, and this is sort of counterintuitive because most people would say you start with why, right? But I think that promotion comes first because it's something that you can do simply and quickly. It builds excitement. It lets people know what's coming. It sets expectations. Then the next step is to explain why. See, if you promote something enough, people will just do it. They will. But if they don't understand why they're doing it, you won't retain people in the long term. They won't understand what it is that they're doing, and they'll stop doing it because they want to try something a different way if they don't understand the core concept of what's going on. So the things that I just explained to you about contingency planning and what that can do for people and how good those results will feel, you don't need to tell them that your goal is to retain them, because that's kind of weird, but how good it will make them feel, those are things that you can share with people so that they understand, why are we doing this? Is this just a weird word, like what is a Red Zone phone jam? But if they understand why we're doing a Red Zone phone jam, then they're actually going to do the Red Zone phone jam, and they're going to do it with excitement. And when someone like doesn't go up and cross off one of their numbers or doesn't show to a phone jam, if you've explained why to everyone, it becomes a weird thing to not follow the plan on your team because it's so clear why we do it. Why we do it is super important. The next important step in accomplishing, this is again, literally these are rules for anything in the business that I laid out, would be get permission from people to do it. We promoted it, they know that it exists, they know why they should do it. If they understand why they should do it, it's so simple to ask, hey, is it okay if we use this Red Zone phone jam tonight to hold you accountable to hitting your goals so that you can accomplish everything you want to accomplish? They're like, yeah, that would be awesome. I want to hit my goals. It would be crazy for someone to say, like, no, I set that goal. I was totally kidding. I just said that. I actually not interested in making money or hitting that goal at all. You never get that response. But when you get permission from people, they always do it because you asked. It's just a courtesy thing. And it's an important thing to do because now when you're getting permission to do things, you're not just doing them. People are happy with you doing it. It's almost as if they've asked you to do it. It's like if you get the I can't afford it objection, it's like, I totally understand where you're coming from, Mrs. Jones, and I think I feel the same way as you do, but do you mind if I just share with you what most people would do?
Is this during a PC where you're talking to one rep, or can you do this in a group?
This is the how, and the how is not the what. You could do this in any setting. So this sequence of things you could do in a PC, you could do on PDI, you could do it at a team meeting to a group, you could do it during training in a group. I mean, you could probably do it in an interview, although I can't think of a reason why you would do that right now, but you know, these are things that are going on anytime you're interacting with people because you want them to take a certain action, right? You want them to do something. Getting permission is part of that. And super important. Building excitement is also important. This isn't just about accountability, it's about fun accountability. It's about getting people excited about what they're going to do and getting them to think bigger. It's about bringing the energy and not being a dullard manager that doesn't really get excited about things. If you get excited, the energy will be high, and when energy's high, people do things, and when they do things, they succeed somewhere on down the road, regardless of what it is, as long as they're doing things. People show up because of excitement, and you should get them excited as well. You don't need to be over the top enthusiastic to get people excited. You just need to bring the energy. You probably should do things like eat and sleep as well if you want to have the energy and bring the excitement. Just as a reminder, those are important things. Creating rewards is the next step. Creating rewards reinforces positive behavior. What do I mean by rewards? Now, you could hand someone $50 or you can just recognize them for having done a great job in front of the group. Feels good, doesn't it? Anyone ever receive a trophy on stage, announce their name, their sales report? Feel good? Feels good, right? Do you care that much about trophies? Most people would say no, but it feels good when you have it in your hand. You got a big smile on your face. I do too. You know, do you feel? You know, were you super excited about getting a bunch of knives for free because of your fast start? Probably not that excited at first, but how did you feel when the box came in the mail? Awesome. Yeah. You went in the next day to the office and you were like, guess what I got in the mail? It's like, it's a reward, right? It's a system of rewards that you got and you were excited about it, even though the initial excitement probably wasn't, like, at least for me, I don't really cook. Last night I tried to cook a piece of fish and I set off the fire alarm in my building. I've nearly burned down my condo building before boiling pasta. I fell asleep and it burned. So I'm not the biggest cook, right? But it was still cool to get all those free prizes. I was excited about it. So those systems of rewards, like, you know, when your manager stands in the front of the room and says to people that you did an amazing job, it feels good. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Those things feel good. So they don't even need to be cash rewards. You could give out veggie peelers galore. You know, you can just tell people they've done a great job. And then after you've done all of this, things have come full circle, and now it's time to upsell, basically, to help people think bigger about what they could do next time. Why is upselling necessary in human performance and management? It's necessary because stagnation does not retain people. Stagnation does not make people enjoy what they do. McDonald's is stagnation. The people that work at McDonald's don't even need to think about the amount of mayonnaise that goes on a bun. There's a lever that they pull, and it squirts out a metered amount. They don't need to think. They don't need to grow. They don't need to increase the number of hamburgers that they put on the fryer every hour. No increases are made, and that's why no one is retained. But here, once you've accomplished a goal, don't let people stick with that as the standard that they're going to do. Help them grow to think bigger next time. Hey Trish, I noticed that it was really easy for you to set up 3 demos at this Red Zone phone jam. I think that for you don't need to share this with everyone else, but I think that for you, next week we should look at your Red Zone as like 6.
Just 6?
Well, let's start with 6. We can go bigger from there. So it's this like think bigger about their goals and help them think about how it would feel, right? Lead with those feelings. It's like, you know, you're going to nail your demos this weekend, but imagine what it would be like if you had double the demos. How much money would you make? How good would you feel about what you've done? Do you think others would be led by you taking charge and having more demos than everyone else? Do you think that could be helpful for the team, for you? Good. Ask questions about how they would feel. When you ask people questions, just like in a demo, they sell themselves. Mrs. Jones, do you see yourself using this? Maybe sometimes every once in a while over the next 20, 30, 40 years. Right? So I was going to make a handout for this, but then I thought to myself, the Red Zone Phone Jam is such a simple concept that I didn't want to make a handout. I instead wanted you to leave with just the, I'm going to do this and understand why you're going to do it and why it's so important. But I don't want you to confuse simple with easy. Anyone here in this room play basketball in high school, maybe? Or after? Dabbled, tried? Currently play basketball?
No.
You currently play basketball?
I do.
Cool. Have you ever tried to increase your vertical?
Yep.
What did you do to increase your vertical?
Jump rope, did like weight training.
Toe raises?
Yeah, calf raises.
Would you consider calf raises to be a complicated exercise?
No.
No, it's easy. How many calf raises do you have to do in order to increase your vertical?
Do it till it hurts, then do more.
Right. Do a ridiculous amount of calf raises. It's absurd when you look back at, like, to increase 1 inch, 10,000 of them? I don't know, something like that, maybe more. So toe raises in themselves are very simple, but just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's easy, and that's where people break down all the time. It's totally different. Like, you have to do these things. You have to make yourself do them to the point where you become disciplined enough that you do it every time. So what is done? What is done? And what do we actually say is the question, right? And what is done all the time. So Red Zone Phone Jams, you talk about them in training. Red Zone Phone Jams, you talk about them in your PC with people. I would say that your PC is really where it starts, that first PC. This is something that if you have your PC notes with you, it would be worth including in there. Hey, are you excited for your first Red Zone phone jam at this week's team meeting? Have you thought about your goal? You help people in their first PC. If you haven't, have we learned about those things yet as a Leadership Academy? First PC?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Yes. Some people no. First PC is your first one-on-one time with them. You get to know them, you see how they're feeling, you reinforce, memorize pages 9 and 10, and you plan out the rest of their fast start. Get them excited about a goal. Put pen to paper, write goals down, put things in their schedule. The first time that you're really planning out the Red Zone phone jam with them is in that PC. Who are you going to call? How many demos are you going to line up this weekend? This is why your goal is going to be what it is for the phone jam at the team meeting. By the way, how many demos can you show up with already lined up for the weekend at the team meeting? And you start to already, it's like upsell. Hit those Tuesday night and Wednesday night phone jams if they're not doing demos so that they can come in with a lot of demos already. Don't accept excuses. When people say things like, I'm running out of people to call, you already heard John say that's never true. It's not true. It's just helping them think bigger. Don't let people delay activity. They may say like, okay, I want to have a big Red Zone phone jam, so I'm not going to phone as much Tuesday and Wednesday. That doesn't make sense. The more demos you do, the sooner you do them, the more referrals you get, the more people you have to call, the faster you learn, the faster you earn money. It's like delaying phone time is like saying, instead of making $1,000 this week, I'd prefer to make $1,000 over the course of the next 5 weeks. What? Some things just don't make sense when you really think them through. And creating that clarity for people is important. That starts right there in the PC. Get commitments from people and ask their permission to hold them accountable. Has anyone heard me do the accountability thing that I do? Other than Trish?
Yeah.
Have you heard me do it at like a conference or something with someone on the phone? Okay, so it's like this. It's like, so Trish, your goal tonight is to line up 4 demos, and you're going to phone between 6:30 and 8:30. Do I have that stuff right?
Yeah.
Cool. So I really need you to let me know how your phone time is going. If you're struggling, I want you to let me know. Shoot me a text, like whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. I'm here to help you. I'm your resource. But at a bare minimum, I want to know how your phone time goes at the end of it. So when can I expect to hear from you by?
Probably 8:30 was fine.
8:30. Okay, I'm going to put that in my schedule here that you're going to get in touch with me at 8:30. Now, what do you think is going to happen if you don't get in touch with me?
Well, there's a long story that you explained to me during training.
Like you're a new rep. Like you're a new rep.
Well, I said during training.
Okay, okay.
Your girlfriend's eventually going to break up with you.
Oh, you spoiled it. Okay, so most of them are like, I don't know, you're going to call me. And then I go, no, I'm not going to call you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my phone disappointedly all night, wondering why you didn't call me or text me. And then my girlfriend, who I'm supposed to go out to dinner with tonight, is going to see me just staring at my phone. And she's going to ask, why are you staring at your phone? And I'm going to be like, Trish never texted me. She's going to be like, who's Trish? And then my girlfriend's going to break up with me. I'm going to show up tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to run any of my meetings or the interview. The team's going to collapse because they have an uninspired leader. Everything is going to be destroyed, all because you didn't send me a text message. Do you really want to do that?
And I'm going to go outside of your house and scream, what were your phone results?
Yeah. So it's this like fun but accountability at the same time, right? There's no one that finishes that phone call or that one-on-one without a huge smile on their face, but I get that text message every time. So PDI promotion and preparation is extremely important. Leading up to a team meeting phone jam, a Red Zone phone jam, the last thing that you want to have happen is someone shows up and they say, I don't have anyone to call. Or they show up and people start phoning and they scurry off into the corner to organize their leads. We've all done it before. But the reason that that happens is not because they're dumb or they're making a mistake or that's crazy. It's because you didn't tell them to do it ahead of time on PDI. It's PDI that morning is, hey, can I count on you to show up with enough people to call so you can hit your goal tonight? What was your goal again? That means you should have 30 people to call tonight. Do you have 30 people? You don't. So what do you think you should do today? Can I count on you to do that? Right? So that's what's going on there. And when people show up with enough people to call, they call them, and then they get the demos, and then they hit their goals, and then they feel good, and then they get the results, and they feel even better, and then you retain them, and your team grows to an enormous size. And then you win a silver cup. So, there are things that need to be said there, and what back when we were talking about the how, the getting permission, the building excitement, these are the actual mechanics, the what's going on, what's being said, right? What I'm actually saying on the phone to people, what's actually being said in PCs. This happens at the team meeting itself as well. In the beginning of the team meeting, you don't just put red zone phone jam on the board and write numbers down. You re-explain why. You get permission again. Gang, what if I had a system, what if we had a program that would ensure that every single one of you hit your goals for this weekend? Would you guys want to know about that program?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And if that program existed, would you want me to hold you accountable to you following that program so you can all hit your goals, make as much money as you want, get the promotions you want? Would you want that?
Yeah.
So everyone here is cool with me helping them hit their goals and holding them accountable this weekend?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that doesn't want to hit their goals and doesn't want to make money? I want to make money too. I was just raising my hand in case so you didn't feel alone if you're out there. Okay, so the way that we do this is the Red Zone Phone Jam. Guys, this is how it works. Each of you is going to set up a minimum of 3 demos tonight to get out of the red zone. Some of you have even bigger goals. I know you don't need to share them with everybody. There's no need to brag here. You can brag when you get your paycheck. So, guys, each of you is going to set up a minimum of 3 demos tonight, and if you don't set up a minimum of 3 demos, this is how you win. You must show up to the office to phone either tomorrow evening for the Friday evening phone jam or Saturday morning for the Saturday morning phone jam. And when you do that, I guarantee you that each of you will hit the goals that you need to hit. Can I count on you guys to follow through with the Red Zone Phone Jam rules?
Yes.
Awesome. And that's it. At the end of the phone jam, it's time to recognize people that have crushed it and make sure that the people that have not get out their schedules and now finitely put their phone jam in their schedules. Do it as a group. When you do planning as a group, it takes less time, it's easier, and all it takes is your top performers. These are your early adopters, your raving fans. You'll have people like that on your team, the ones that are like, I am going to do this every time with energy and enthusiasm. You sit those people in the front, and then everyone just does what they do, and that's all that you need. That's why it's good to do things in a group. So you just need those early adopters to do those things. After the phone jam, you make sure that stuff happens. The post-phone jam planning is important. The planning that you do at the team meeting is extremely important to people hitting their goals. When someone doesn't have demos, they should phone. They came here to work. They came to you to do things. So you should help them do things. And then there's also a PDI follow-up. So today, for the people on our team that missed their phone jam goals, after this meeting, we're going to do a whole bunch of PDI follow-up. Have you hit your goals by now? If you haven't hit your goals, we need to make sure that you phone on Sunday. You should come to the office. You should phone. If you can't come to the office, you got to phone from home, but I need you to phone like I'm there. And that means don't make 3 phone calls, say no one's picking up, and then just stop phoning. It means make 30 phone calls no matter what. Smile while you dial. Motion creates emotion. And do it as hard as you can. Guys, so the things that we've talked about here, remember, promote it, start with why, get permission, build excitement, create rewards, upsell. Talk about it in training. Talk about it in PCs. Talk about it on PDI. Talk about it at the beginning of the team meeting. Talk about it at the end of the team meeting, do PDI follow-up, and then you'll successfully have executed a Red Zone Phone Jam. So we took a really simple concept here, and we really dug deep into it. Phone jams are simple. Kicking them off is simple. Does anyone have a good phone jam kickoff?
In our office with Jack, we play the Wolf of Wall Street.
That's awesome. It's pick up the phone and start dialing, right? So, guys, I don't want you to gingerly saunter over to your phones and casually dial in some numbers. I want you to do it with some energy. With some what?
Energy.
Cool. I think we could work on that a little bit, but we'll do it next time. I want you to do it with some energy. So get out your phones, open up your phone app. Everyone put in the first number that they're going to dial, and let's go. Boom. And that's it.
All right. Was that it?
You're good.
Okay. Let's hear it for George. Great job.